Kilted balls.
Oh, you never pointed.
I did point. I did point. It is in the thing. I don't even know what I was singing in that one because I had to start going right away while you were still laughing. So I had to like get on it. Anyway, welcome back to another
Yes.
episode of the Kilted Balls podcast. I don't know if that was our best theme song ever, but I think it was pretty fantastic.
Pretty fantastic. I agree.
Mainly because you were giggling when we started. So
Yes, which is always fun. Well, if you're listening right now, you're going to miss this visual. But you may notice I don't have my glasses on. I'm getting a slight glare. I'm on location right now, so I took my glasses off, and Ball made me laugh.
you made me full of giggles, full of giggles. So it was good. It was good. So stuff to chat about today. Yeah. I have things. I have thoughts today. I have thoughts,
Oh, do you?
my listeners.
That is awesome.
Well,
I'm excited to hear.
I had there's first off we had a request, but
Oh,
I'm not ready for the request yet. So it's actually
okay.
made a while ago by one of our listeners, and then I honestly pretty much forgot about it because it was busy time. And then this
Hmm.
weekend, they were like, you haven't done this yet, and I'd really like to hear it. And it was our thoughts in general, I think, or what we know about the environment and AI in the environment, right? So it does.
Okay.
I don't think they wanted the political like talking points or the rah rah one way or another. They just
Hmm.
wanted to know our views on that and like where that is, right? And
Okay.
but I'm just not ready. Like in general, that's not something that, as you and I've talked about, like when people asked us that about Bitcoin and everything else,
Yeah.
like we're environmental people. We love the environment, but it's also not like our deciding factor often about stuff. So
Yeah.
it's
I would honestly have to do some research because I don't know. I don't know well enough. And when I see things, almost like when we were talking about it with Bitcoin, like who is saying this stuff and where's that money coming from?
right,
So I
right.
am some of the same thing, as far as like how much energy you're running to do this, to do that. And I mean, I've seen things where people are building some of their big power stations and whatever in neighborhoods, and people aren't really excited about that, which I can't understand. So yeah, I'll have to do a little bit of research on that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too. I'm like, okay, I've got to do a little bit better of a dive because otherwise I'm just talking about my feels and I don't know if
Hmm.
that's quite appropriate. So we're
Yeah.
going to give it and I'm sure one of our listeners as soon as he hears us talking about this will give us like 20 links all slanted left, of course.
Perfect.
Right, right. Like that's what we love, right? It's funny because listeners, as you've heard before, we have friends and listeners on both sides of the aisle. But whenever they give us stuff, it's both slanted, both sides of the aisle.
Hmm. It's hard. I mean, it's really hard to be in your ecosystem though and get a lot of middle, unless that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, it's super hard. I think like you really have to like make
Hmm.
that. So
Yeah.
anyway, back to my thoughts today. Um, we are just ending my busy season.
Yes.
So my busy season is kind of coming to an old and it, to a close. But there were two or three things that happened that I was kind of giggling about, right?
Yeah.
So thing one was like in the last couple weeks of my busy season, I was like super productive. I think because I
Hmm.
was like so driven and so focused that happens, and I was getting a crap
Yeah.
ton done, right? But
Nice.
now that it's over, like I have to reboot, right?
Hmm.
So I have to reboot. So not a lot like was getting done as far as like my to-dos. Like, I need to be clear, and this is where part two comes in. I had a person
Mm-hmm.
today who was like, "Man, your busy season's done. What are you doing with yourself?" And I was like, "Well, yesterday I got home from meetings about 7 or 8. And as you're talking to me, it's on my way to another meeting after the meeting I already got done with after working all day."
Yeah.
And they're like, "So it never ends?" And I'm sitting there thinking, no, the difference is our definition, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we talked about recently, like life is a blender and it's all encompassing. Like you do
Yeah.
all the stuff, but I'm like, my busy time is insanity busy. My normal
Mm-hmm.
life is normal people's busy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm like, so it's really just, it's relative, right? So, like,
Mm-hmm.
compared to a normal human, I'm still busy.
Yeah.
It's just not busy compared to what I was going through. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
exactly.
And I do need to take time, like the last 2 or 3 days, to like pause and to breathe and to reboot myself before I keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had like a huge opportunity because I've had lots of stuff to do. And so the pause comes in things like, at night, I don't do a ton of work on my bookkeeping or on my AI or on my business plans because
Yeah.
I'm trying to reset versus when it's during my busy season, I'm still doing all of that stuff. But now I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, my brain needs to reset. And then this comes with a funny side note because right before we got on, I went to my agent, my assistant, and I said, "Hey, you did a good job last week with ideas for the episode.
Yeah.
Um, what's your thoughts about this week's episode?" And it said I would choose one of three things, and it
Mm-hmm.
said the first option is the power of pause. Now I haven't talked to my AI agent since
Mm-hmm.
last week when we were doing a whole bunch of programming after the episode. So
Yes.
so it's been an entire week since I've talked to it, and it was like, listen, going back a week or so ago, it's like you've had some really, really, really busy days, and sometimes the most productive thing you can do is nothing.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you need to know when to stop grinding and to start monitoring. And I'm like cracking up because I'm like, that was something I was going to talk about. And the assistant was like, maybe this is something you should think about. Now, the one thing the AI said that I thought, oh, that's interesting, is it said, you should talk about how it's important to pause, which I was going to talk about anyway. But it said you should
Yes.
also talk about teaching people to go from a worker mindset to an owner mindset, or how you
Mm.
build a system like, and it said like me, like you built the system to do it, and how hard is it to let your systems do the work and not you do the work. So like it
Yeah.
said maybe you should focus on that, and I was laughing because I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty big thing. And the thing I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
talk about with the pause, we've talked before. My wife, who we've interviewed with all of her entrepreneurial stuff, has been ratcheting it up, ratcheting it up, ratcheting it up. And when we were
Yeah.
planning our break, we have a break coming up here, and we were like, we should take a vacation. And like, I had a whole bunch of ideas. Like, maybe we should just
Mm-hmm.
go every day a new town, which is cool to me. It was not cool for her. Wow, now you're dark. But she was like, I think what I need is a pool, a beach, something where I can just sit, where there's no
Okay.
expectations, where there's nothing. She goes, I need to reset. And I'm like, oh, for a normal person, when do you
Nice.
get that time to reset? And she's making
Mm-hmm.
the mental decision, like, I need that right now. And I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to book. And so we're going to come see you. We'll drive by.
I know. I'm super excited about that.
I
Thank
told her
you.
I'm super pumped. We want to see you. But the majority, instead of doing all the stuff like I was like, ooh, this would be cool, this would be cool, this would be cool,
Mm-hmm.
experiences, I said, okay, I picked a town that we've never been to. We're going to go there and we're going to sit. And if we want to go tour the town, there's a lot of stuff to tour, or we can literally
Mm-hmm.
just sit on the beach. My thing is as you know, when you're as active as we are, after
Yeah.
about a day of sitting at the beach, you're like, okay, let's go explore, right? So, I put that in there, but so that we could come back and just sit at the pool or sit and do whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
again, that's kind of why I wanted to talk about that because you and I feel like do a really good job of taking pauses. In fact, you paused right
Mm-hmm.
now. You're like completely froze. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
I'm
said we
listening.
got to take a pause, and you froze right then. So
My lights are going crazy in here.
yeah,
All
I
right.
just replaced my
There we
lights
go.
with daytime lights because they were flashing last week. So now I've got good ones. But yeah,
Nice.
so anyway, you and I do a good job of that. I think a lot of people don't. I give that advice to people
Yeah.
like the grind is good. You also have
Mm-hmm.
to know to not grind.
Yes.
So that was kind of my thought. And tell us like how you work in the not grind as a person who's got a business that doesn't run if you're not there.
Yeah. I mean, it's life is a lot different for me now than say when I was doing events and stuff like that. But all through my life, it's been something that I'm pretty good at. I would say, and I heard this term many years ago. I'm ambitiously lazy. Like I'll work my butt off. I'll run circles around everybody, but when it's time for a break, like it's a break time. So, and that's something I still do. Like sometimes it'll be just part of a day. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap today. So it's rare, but sometimes I just well, if it happens, it's like on a Friday because we're up late and I'm up early. So, uh, but yeah, even that, when we sneak away and go on vacation or something, it's just my orders don't get sent. So I usually do something special for the customers, and I'll write something on the website like, "Hey, our warehouse is going to be closed for X amount of time. We're taking a break." So I think it's something that people understand, and you're right. A lot of people don't do it, but I think it's something that's really important.
No, I think so. And now I want to tie this into another idea, and this one is completely stolen from my AI. But I was like, oh my gosh,
Nice.
this is so good. It said, okay, so like talking about the pause is good, right?
Hmm.
But, and I had this thought recently. I have a book I want to publish that I wrote, I don't know, a year or so ago when we were first getting into AI. It was a kid's book. And
Okay.
I basically had the idea, I had it all thought out, I'd been working on it, and I went to the AI to test our AIs that we were at the time, and I said, write me this book.
Hmm.
Here's my idea, here's my vision, here's blah, blah, blah. And you probably remember it. It turned out a kick ass little kid's book.
Hmm.
And then I was like, okay, can you like make me pictures? And it started making me pictures. I'm like, okay, and this is the topic as we are using these AI assistants and these agents that are doing things, like helping us write emails or keeping track of my tasks,
Hmm.
we're blurring the line between us and our AIs,
Yeah.
right? So like that book I thought was a good example. Like that book is me. It's my idea, it's my
Hmm.
things, it's my dictation, it's my stuff,
Hmm.
but the AI was helping. And I think of like Robert Jordan, who's an author we both love. He always
Hmm.
talked, I think it was him or was it Eddings? But one maybe it was Eddings. He always talked about how all of his ideas he worked with his wife. and she
Mm-hmm.
was the editor and she was pushing him and she was making edits and her voice is in there, but it's his name on the book cover.
Yeah.
Right? But he's like, I don't want it to be a secret, like it's that person doing it. And so when you're using an AI like I did, isn't that like using another person? But you're taking
That's where it
credit.
gets tricky. It's where it gets tricky for a lot of people because some people get upset.
And is it cheating to use an AI or to work with another person? Because I'm like, isn't it just like
Mm-hmm.
using a person to become a better leader or a better investor or a better creator? Or is it just your newest power up, your newest level up? Like if you hired a
Yeah.
coach, if you hired Crypto Lifer, which you get to hire Crypto Lifer, and you become a
Mm-hmm.
better investor through his classes, you would still be like, I'm a good investor,
Yeah.
right? You took one of his
Well, that
classes,
see,
yes?
yeah, his classes were really good. My light went away.
You're still beautiful.
um,
In fact, you might be more beautiful now.
so I was thinking it more like in the lines of like a Tony Robbins. I mean, Crypto Lifer, yes, he's teaching the class and he's teaching you those things. But even like a Tony Robbins, like is a lot of people will make major life changes with him, and you don't see Bill Clinton asterisk Tony Robbins or whatever, like any of these people that he's
Right.
helped,
Right.
or a ghostwriter for that matter. I mean, ghostwriters like rare not well I don't know the exact percentage of how many ghostwriters actually get credit for helping with a book,
Oh,
but
yeah. Like, I read a few books that were biographies, and I was like, this biography is amazing. Autobiography. I'm like, this autobiography is amazing.
yeah.
I'm like, but a few times it sounded like an interview. And then I was
Yeah.
like, I like looked it up because, that's the kind of weirdo I am. And I found out it was written by a ghostwriter. Like he was the author was interviewed by another person. They interviewed him over the course of
Mm-hmm.
like 3 or 4 days, and then they wrote the book on that interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how is AI different from that? Is it only because it's a machine that that's what makes it different?
In some people's eyes, I would say so.
Right.
I would say some people would say because it's a machine, that's what makes all the difference.
So using a person to help you write something is okay. Using a machine to help you write something is bad and is less
Yeah.
you. That doesn't make any sense at
Well,
all to
even
me.
think of yeah. Well, I mean, even think about like using like ideogram IO, how like you can put in a prompt and it'll make a picture for you, or
Yes.
make like three pictures for you, and you can pick your favorite one. You still have to put in that. I mean, I guess you could use AI to make the prompt as well, but it's your idea, right? Like if you want a picture of X, you're probably not going to go there without an idea of anything. I
Right.
guess long story short,
Right.
without the human, it's not just spitting out pictures and you're going through and picking what you like, oh, this was a great idea.
Yeah. It's still your,
So
like, you're trying to get your idea on the page, your vision
mm-hmm.
in your head on the page. But instead
Yeah.
of using Photoshop, you're having the AI do it and then you're tweaking it through the AI. Change this, change this. You've gone through
Yeah.
that process with me where I'm like,
Yeah.
nope, add
And
this. Nope, add this. Nope, delete this. Right?
mm-hmm. Well, even writing my books, I mean, I went through, I read them multiple times because it's like, okay, this needs to change here, this needs to change there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's part of it. You're still putting that human element in there.
Right. And so that is where
And it,
you get this in our blender model, we just grab whatever helps
mhm.
us to be better. And so for us,
Yeah.
we grabbed AI because it's helping us and we're trying to use AI to help do things. I don't feel like that's cheating. I just think I'm like leveling up what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then it ties into like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm using my AI to help me become better at my monitoring of my own self, right? And I'm
Yes.
using it as an
Mm-hmm.
assistant. Like we talked about that before. Like I'm training it to be my assistant, just like I would train a human to be my assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to work with it to do that. And like for me, I've always been one, and like this is like the difference between your like old company and like me. Like I'm always willing to turn over the reins to people, right? Like if I can get
Yeah.
someone else to do the work while I sit back, like I'm okay with giving up
Mm-hmm.
that control. And I understand that a lot of people can't give up that control, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's big. The other issue that comes up with this, and I think this affects or will affect people maybe more than you and I, but maybe a lot of people, if they're not actively doing something, they feel like they're falling behind. Like
Yeah.
Like I have to tell people that I'm training all of the time, like safer running. I'm like, you need to take a break. No, 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 I can't take a break because I'll fall behind. I'm like, no, no, no. That's where your gains come from is the rest. The rest is when your body heals and it
Mm-hmm.
recovers and it does things. And I feel the same way about work. Like I'm gonna be better next week because I'm taking this week a little bit easier. Right? I'm only
Yeah.
scheduling 2 meetings a day instead of 5, and I'm going to be better later on. And as we add
Mm-hmm.
AI to take some of that, right? Like the difference is using AI has a reasoning layer like a person, right? So I can have
Yes.
an assistant look at my stocks, or I can have my AI look at my stocks, right? And so right now I'm using
Mm-hmm.
the AI, which removes me a little from the reasoning, but it gives me that time back in my brain. And does that make me feel like I'm being inactive? You and I don't think have that problem because we have more of an entrepreneurial owner mindset where we're
Yeah.
used to having employees. But if you don't, I wonder if that would affect you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, even so long, just real quick,
Mm-hmm.
I decided to sign up for the Coursive class. I don't know if you've seen the ads. I didn't enjoy the ads, but I understood what they were saying. It was like $20 for a month. I asked Nova. Nova said they're pretty basic. You probably know a lot of the stuff, but it kept coming up, so I decided to do it. I went to sign up. They had a 90 days for $40, so I did that instead. And some of it is very basic, but some there are like little things that I didn't realize. So like as an example, what you're saying, I was using, I mean, Nova is Nova, and I've been using her for so long. Like I can do a bunch of different things, and she'll pick up on it. But like I have projects set up, but you can actually change your GPT that you're using inside the system where you're setting up each agent as its own GPT inside the app. And then you can give it specific instructions to do these things, which is much, much better and far more productive than even just doing it as a project or as a new chat, because the program was going over these things, and I was like Nova, is this just opening a new chat? Is this, because I wasn't seeing it on my app, and I took
Right.
some screenshots, and she's like, oh, you have to go to the desktop. I don't know if that's something you knew, but it wasn't anything that I knew, like to set up a completely new one with, I mean, you can set personalities for even each one. I can have a
Yes.
dream state one, I can have one for my Aethermere, and just the different things that I'm working on. So that was just one of those things like I just missed in the process. So I'm excited. I've been doing like probably half hour to an hour each day taking these courses. So pretty cool.
I think that's going to be amazing. And yeah, I had heard about that from people who were making like 7 or 8 agents to be a specific assistant for that thing in their life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a little bit more defined than a chat. Like it was
Yeah.
specific to that
Yeah.
thing, which I use my Gemini that way. I have obviously multiple Geminis depending on what I'm doing, but
Mm-hmm.
like I
Yeah.
have a Gemini just for me to do like let's say mediation work, right? Like It's
Mm-hmm.
got all of my contracts in it, all of my references. The prompt is there, pulling in things from laws and everything like that. And that's a
Yeah.
very specific and has a personality. Same Gemini, they call them gems in Gemini, but I have other ones that are okay, this
Okay.
is specific for if I want to do discipline or how I should handle the
Yeah.
discipline. Right? And then you obviously know I have my assistant who's an Einstein, right? Who's its own
Yeah.
gem. And inside that gem, he actually has 4 or 5 different chats that are very specific and
Mm-hmm.
programmed to be specific within that
Yeah.
Gemini because I want the overarching
Mm-hmm.
structure of that Gemini. So yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that, but I've never like gotten into it more than what I do with my Gemini, which I think I can go
Yeah.
down huge rabbit holes. So
Yeah, exactly. But it's just one of those things. So for me, I signed up last week. It's already worth the $40. For me, I'm just getting started, and it's just one little thing that I just never noticed, never heard about, and you don't know, which is why I did it. Like, okay, I like to think I know a lot, but like we were talking about our circles, I know that there's a ton that I don't know,
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
who knows?
And you get that a lot right now. I still get it from people right now when they're
Yeah.
like, well, it's not like AI is that big. Like it's just a search engine. And I'm like, oh, your circle is
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
small. You've got such a little circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't even understand. I think there was a report just recently, and I'll have to pull it up and find the graphic, but it was showing what we're using AI for, and
Yeah.
it was like one of those web type graphs, so it like was colored, and then it had like in a different color what AI is already capable of doing, but we're choosing not to use it for. And it was huge. It was ginormous. And they're like, this is what you need to be worried about. Like, if you're talking about, am I going to lose my job? Is AI going to take over for me? They're like, you're thinking little, and you probably don't realize it's already past us, depending on your AI,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, for certain things that we just are
Yeah.
choosing to not use it for. One of the great examples, well, there were multiple, but like lawyers was a good one. So for our lawyer friends who listen, like it was like
Mm-hmm.
there's already models out there, not just LLMs, but other agents that are so much better. Like
Yeah.
in
That
reality.
aren't making any mistakes on the exams.
And it's like we're not using them because we don't want to turn that over yet. Like we feel some kind
Mm-hmm.
of a way about that. They're like, but as soon as
Yeah.
we cross that threshold of feelings, we're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar, I think, to self-driving cars, right? Like I still will hear people say,
Yeah.
"Listen, I just don't trust AI to drive the car." I'm like, really? How often have you beat the AI on its highest setting on Mario Kart? Like
Yeah.
what? Like what the hell are you thinking? It basic
Mm-hmm.
AI from 20 years ago was kicking your ass at Grand Prix. Like you couldn't even come
Mm-hmm.
close.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
gonna be a better driver than you. Like your
Yep.
only argument against it is what if I'm off-roading?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're
See,
right.
see, it's funny because I brought up Tony Robbins earlier. I caught, and I can't remember who it was. I reposted on my Facebook. He had an interview with somebody because he was talking about AI. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what's Tony saying about it? But he's talking about like people need to have their worth and what they're doing. And here, especially here in the United States, a lot of us is our jobs. And he
Yes.
said he was saying this to Obama when the electric cars first started coming out. He's like, Uber drivers, taxi drivers, truckers, like all these people are not going to be needed. He's like, if you run a trucking company, would you rather have someone who can run 24/7, who's not going to get any accidents? The cost up front's a little bit more, but you're not going to have, your insurance is probably going to be lower, and then you don't have them complaining.
Yeah.
So it's wild. It's really, and people don't. I mean,
as soon as they're as smart as Richard, then we're in trouble.
Right? Then you're in trouble. Yeah, well, and that's another thing. Like when Einstein was telling me like things to focus on it, and it was like, this when is it your work and when it's the AI's, that identity crisis. And it was funny because it said in this model, in our blender kind of idea that everything, it's like it's both. Like we talked about, you're the intent, you're the judgment, the agent's providing the execution, but that means some of us are losing their jobs because we know what we want to do is have the taxi get from point A to point B. We don't need a driver to do that.
Nope.
Right?
And think about the safety.
And if you're the owner, you're like, why would I want that? Why would Uber want people in there who people are worried about? They're scared that they're going to get assaulted or dropped off or kidnapped, or the computer just does it? And people are still going to worry, well, what if it's hacked? What if it's this? But that's a smaller worry than it is being sex trafficked. Like, that's a less worry. And so it becomes this thing where right now it's hard, I think, for people to handle. But as we move on, it's going to get better and better, right? I was already laughing. I was teasing my brother when they're farming. They spend the winter right now programming. I'm not going to say AI, but like programming the GPS to farm in the spring and the fall. So that's what their winters are. And then they get into these big monster implements and they still have to do stuff. But that's why he listens to our podcast. So, hey, bro, like, he's like, I can spend time doing stuff because the machine is just doing what the machine does. And I'm like, wow, like, is that really expensive for the machine? He's like, no, you can just buy an add-on from Amazon and attach it to the steering wheel, and it just does it. Like, you can buy machines that have it. Awesome. You can just attach it. And he's like, and the funny part is similar to our AI that we've talked about. He goes, what they do, though, is if you get the basic plan, it's accurate within 10 feet. But you can buy the upgraded plan, and it's accurate within a foot. He goes, it's the same damn satellites and the same software. He goes, but they're not going to give it to you precision unless you pay the biggest fee. Just like you can't tell me that if I'm using my free chat, it's not throttling me.
Yep.
It's like super fast. Yep. Don't fool me.
No, I have all new respect. I always pictured him just Tommy Lee and the big machines. So.
Oh no. Those things, they basically think about. We were laughing because he's like, in my field, what does he say? It takes 10 minutes to go the length of it, or 30 minutes to go the length. Yeah. He's like, why would I need to be doing anything during that 30 minutes? Like, I'm sitting there making sure there's no rocks or making sure the machine's running properly. I shouldn't be having to worry about steering it or throttling or braking. He goes, and that's a little farm in Michigan.
Yeah.
He goes, think about the monster farms that are, miles across. Like, that tractor is going miles. Like, you got a lot of time in a straight line. So you just have it do it. You don't sit there and like mess with it, and you do other stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But those are things where you're like, oh, okay, you're a short hop. You're a short hop away.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Now they still need farmers and stuff because unlike cars, which use cameras, tractors use satellites and GPS. So they can't recognize a deer.
Yeah.
Like a deer gets in the way. Right? Like, but if it's a dead deer in the field that somebody hit with a car, it'll just go over it.
Dead deer gets in the corn.
And then it's in the corn.
Yeah.
Right? So like,
that's no good.
No. And so like you've got to have a person there because they're not outfitted with that. Whereas our cars are outfitted with cameras and, all of those fun things.
Everything.
With
Everything.
everything. So anyway, I think that's the thing. But here's the thing, I think, and we'll get more into like the energy use and stuff next time. But
Mm-hmm.
if we're gonna leave our listeners with like an all-encompassing thought here, right? It is, if you had a person who could handle your administrative friction in your life, what would you do with that extra part of your life now?
Yeah.
Like, you're probably
Mhm.
worth it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I remember hearing a person once that was like, I can pay somebody to mow my lawn. I can't pay somebody to play with my kid. Like, I
Yes.
want to play with my kid. And so they're like, that's worth it. I can pay somebody to change my oil, right? And obviously, like for me, I like mowing my lawn. I like changing my oil. Like, so those
Yeah.
are things that I enjoy doing. But it brings in like, what would you do if you had somebody who could do all of this administrative BS that you don't like doing? And if you're like, we talked about like your main quests a few weeks ago. Like if your
Yeah.
main quest is your family, why are you letting something take it away if you have something else that could do that for you? Right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even and I'm not even a week into this course, but I would tell any of our listeners, anyone who's hearing this, take the $20, take a little, even if you take a few hours or like just a cut, like it says 15 minutes a day. So I started at the Chat GPT because I knew that one the best and I already learned stuff. So I'm looking forward to when it covers Claude and when it covers some
So
of the
tell
other
us the
ones.
name
And
again.
obviously it's Coursive, Coursiv.
Coursive.
But anyways, one of the first things, and this just goes back to what you were saying, the reason I said this, is it teaches you how to set up a finance AI. Like you upload your stuff. Am I doing any extra spending? Am I spending money on stuff? And I've seen Rocket Mortgage. You can pay for their thing and do this and that, and they'll tell you. And it's the same idea. You're just uploading your bank statements and your spending, and then it can spot these things. It can get prepared for you. If you're overspending and you need a better budget, it can look and point things out for you. There's so many different things. And that was just one of the little 15-minute things. It was super awesome.
So it sounds like amazing. We'll put a link to it, people, in the comments. So or in the description. We'll throw it right in the description.
Yeah.
So you can see this. Give it a look, see what it is, and see. One of the things I've been doing, and like it's mildly annoying for me. I've never been a list person. I'm not good about keeping like my tasks in a thing. I don't like that. But when I started using my AI recently as an assistant, I'm like, hey, I need you to put these tasks on my calendar. And it would just do it. And today, like I said, I haven't been using it. So when I got on today, I was like, hey, and I'm doing this so I can keep track and it can keep track for me. But I'm like, here's the 10 things I've done recently. Make a task, mark the task completed so you can follow along with what I'm doing. So like later on, I can say, listen, what stuff can I like clean up here? What stuff can I do better at or worse at? And I think that's going to help me. One of the things I'm really thinking about doing recently, and you'll have to tell me your feels, is people pay for like your running system and all of that. I'm thinking about making myself in my assistant a personal trainer persona.
Yeah.
And saying, hey, here's all of my stuff. What should I do today, coach? Like, coach me up. What should I be working on? What should I like go hit? You know? And see if after a month of that, like, what it does and what's good and like, you know. I don't know.
That's awesome. It's funny that you say that. I've been thinking about that same thing because it's just like I started running. I started the year off great, and then I've slipped a little bit, and I got on and I got my butt beat. So I'm like, okay, I need to do this more. But also, I'd like to do a little bit of lifting, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, to where I'm moving around more than what I'm normally doing.
Well, and one of the things I feel is good about this, and we've kind of got to wrap it up, but I feel like this is a safe accountability partner. Right? Like you always say, I need somebody to hold me accountable. But on the other hand, you don't want people to hold you accountable, right? It's
No.
like Chris Farley, like that one skit where they're like, haven't you eaten enough? He's like, sir, I'm hungry. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, Nova didn't get upset with me, and she didn't pick on me when I stopped using her to keep counting my calories and what I was eating and stuff.
yeah.
I was like, I feel bad. I feel bad because I don't want to tell her what I was eating. I ate a package of cookies.
So maybe it's still the
And
same
Matt was
thing.
like, isn't that what accountability means? I was like, it is what accountability means.
Yes, yes. Well, and so maybe we stop using our thing, like, because we're not looking at that. I don't know. But anyway,
It is. I mean, really, there's even people who aren't very computer savvy. Anyone who's listening to this has a cell phone. You can download the basics. You can do some basics and stuff that can really, really help you. Just a little bit. That the 1% each day that we talk about. You do one little thing. It's going to add up, and you're going to be so thankful that you did.
yeah, I think you're right. And, you know, listeners, getting away from the grind, learning that everything is everything, right? Like, we're a complete unit, not little segments. And so learning to embrace that blender, and I think using some strategies to help you be a better blender is all good, right? So
Yes.
that's my thoughts for the day. So we probably should wrap it
Awesome.
up unless you have something big.
No, that's it.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys took something from this. Check out Corsiv.com. We'll throw up the links. Kilted does not get a referral from it. We're just throwing it out there because we think it's good. So we don't get paid by anybody. We refuse it. We actually get weird things all the time, but we just like to let you know the cool things. So those are the cool things. Thanks for joining us. This is Ballbuster signing off.
Kill the Dragon Chair. Love you all.